is there a dimension that is deeper than this self, this person, that you are here for a little while? Everybody has a history, and you're a person, you are a conditioned entity. Is there anything beyond this conditioned entity, the self? The Buddha calls it the self, and other than the fact of suffering, another important part of his teaching is the ultimate unreality of that self. The ultimate unreality of that self, which was also Jesus' teaching, but it's usually overlooked by churches and theologians, because Jesus said, literally, here's another little quote that I'm sure he actually said literally. He said, "Deny thyself." Oh, I thought the Buddha said that. It was actually Jesus. Deny thyself means, what does it mean? What is the point in denying yourself if yourself is actually real? If it has a substantial, ultimate reality, then to deny something that is real wouldn't make sense. So, but deny thyself, he said that because he agrees with the Buddha that identity that people carry around with is ultimately an illusion. There is something deeper that is beyond that. So when Jesus says, deny thyself, what is really meaning is recognize the unreality of yourself. That's what is deny yourself. Recognize that ultimately this is not who or what you are. Yes, it has a certain function here. It is a part of who you are on the level of form, physical form and psychological form. This is why I call it your form identity. Everybody has one. You have a body, that's the physical form, and you have a mental form, which is you as this person that you can think about and talk about. And it has its emotions that go with that, conditioned by the past. Whatever happened to you in the past conditions you to become this particular person. Is there anything beyond that conditioned entity? And here we come to the realization that it is possible to go deeper where your sense of who you are goes beyond this personal sense of self. The personal sense of self is still there, but it is no longer all-consuming. And that's a very important difference. If you discover something, and we are here many of you already can sense what it is that I'm talking about, but we go in more deeply. There is a dimension in you that transcends the who or what you are as a person, as a self. There is a deeper, we could say higher, but I prefer deeper. It doesn't matter what word you use. Higher could kind of take you out of yourself, and I'm looking for myself up there, my higher self, but it's better to go within and encounter the deeper dimension of yourself. So how do we access that? How do we discover that? And that's the awakening. That is the awakening. What is it that you awaken from? Not sleep, that's the ordinary awakening. Every morning you awaken and you open your eyes and you realize there's a significant shift from the dream state to the so-called awakened state in the morning. You suddenly go, oh, here I am again. But before there was the sleep state, you were dreaming, or perhaps you were in a state of dreamless sleep, and then you come out of that and you're suddenly awake. And that traditional spiritual traditions use this to point to another awakening that is similar but much higher than awakening from sleep, the ordinary awakening from sleep that happens to you every morning. There is another awakening, and that is the awakening out of the ordinary level of consciousness, which we could call unconsciousness, spiritually speaking, which is complete identification with the mental emotional conditioning, complete identification with every thought that arises, every emotion that arises. It has you in its grip. Oh my God, well, there's nobody who is there who's able to say, oh, what is thought? The witnessing faculty is not there. There's no awareness, no presence. You're totally in the grip of the conditioned stream of thinking and emotion. And you're like people say, I think as if they had a choice. But most humans, there's not sufficient awareness or zero awareness, which is presence, zero awareness, so they're not able to step out of their thinking and become aware of their thinking. They're in it like a raging river that drags you along. And they're made unhappy by what, in many cases, they're made very unhappy by this thing that drags them along. They think, that's me. Oh God, can't stand anymore. Can't take it anymore. What's going to happen to me tomorrow? And I must think about this. Can't go to sleep now. Think. How am I going to solve this problem of me and my problems? Many humans consider their identity, for many humans, is mostly their problems. And they take it to a psychiatrist or a psychotherapist, trying to get rid of their problems, but on the other hand, not wanting to get rid, because that's all they know of their identity. So every psychotherapy knows you reach a stage when the humans resist. They don't want to let go, because that's all they know. That's their identity, their problems. Well, at least I have my familiar problems. I'm not going to step into the unknown. At least I know who I am. I may be unhappy, but at least I know who I am. It's delusion. So, in ancient Indian spiritual teachings, they differentiate between different states of consciousness. And they differentiate dreamless sleep. This goes back hundreds of years. They discovered, yes, dreamless sleep, the dream state. That's the second state of consciousness. The third state is normal wakefulness. But even normal wakefulness has different levels to it, but put that aside for a moment. Normal wakefulness and what they call the fourth state of consciousness, which I believe it's Sanskrit called Turiya, the fourth, that is the awakened state. That is the state where you no longer identify with the stream of, you're not continuously drawn into the stream of thinking, and it does not absorb your consciousness continuously. There is an ability to be aware of your emotions and to be aware of your thoughts. There's also an ability to step out of the stream of thinking that grows, that when that arises, you will find that in your life, that is the beginning of your awakening. For some people, the beginning of their awakening is they suddenly are aware that all the thoughts that go through their head is ultimately not who they are, they're just thoughts. And then who they are is behind that, but is not easily defined. You can't really define it at all, but I'll try, just use as pointers. So you are able to take your consciousness out of the stream of thinking, at least to some extent, and you're able to be aware of what your mind is doing. You're able to be aware of what your emotions are doing without being totally identified. You're able to step back